What's up? All right, I'm not that cool. I know. So, um, I just want to do a little. I don't know if you want to call it devotion time or teaching time, distance learning time, whatever it is. But I just had something I wanted to share with you. With the times that we have in our world right now with, excuse me, coronavirus, which I do not have. Um, we hear a lot about suffering. We hear a lot about trials, pandemic, all these things we hear about a lot. And they're very, it's legitimate, it's very real. But I don't know about you all, but I feel like these last, goodness, March 16 is when we started all this with no school and no youth group. I just feel like there's been nothing else. Like the world has stopped because coronavirus is out. And it's almost like don't move. Just sit, don't move. And, there's all these don'ts. And I get why. But I think our minds and our heads go to places that I don't know if you want to say they shut off and they just stop, or like coronavirus. Like coronavirus is occupying everything. It's occupying spaces we didn't even know that there were in our head and in our hearts and in our lives and our relationships. And I don't like it. So maybe this doesn't relate to you. I don't know. But I feel like it might. I feel like I'm not the only one out here going, oh, that's right. There are other things out here to talk about other than COVID-19. So I have just a couple Bible verses I want to share with y'all. James 1, verses 2 through 4. And then I'm going to flip over to Romans 5. Got to turn my little notes there. And I want you to know that I've prepared a very, an incredible PowerPoint to include into this video. And I think you're going to be really impressed. I mean, if you get nothing else out of this little video tonight, I hope you get jealous of my PowerPoint tonight. But don't be jealous because that's sinfulness. Only God can be jealous because it's a different kind of jealous. That's a whole nother night's discussion. So anyways, James 1 verse 2 through 4. I want to read this to you. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial. Because that's the wrong verse. But it's a good verse. That's not the one I wanted to read. See, I told you, I warned you I was going to polish this and I was going to be in my studio. Notice my backdrop. I was going to be polishing this video really a lot tonight. So anyways, James 1, verses 2, 3, and 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Let me read it again. This is James 1, verses 2 through 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. A few notes on that before I jump over to Romans. I'm focusing on this word perseverance. A lot of times people will focus in this about the trials. And that's not bad, but tonight I want to focus on perseverance. Because, I've heard that many things about this coronavirus thing. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not a snow day, it's a blizzard. And all that reminds me of perseverance. You persevere through a blizzard when the snow keeps falling and the wind keeps blowing. You persevere in a marathon when you have more miles to go than what you've already run. When you can't feel your leg. What am I talking about? I don't have a clue about a marathon, but you know what I'm getting at. So, perseverance. That's what I want to focus on. It says in verse 4, let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete and lacking nothing. So, like, what do you mean? How do you ever, like, how does perseverance finish? So, that brought me to Romans chapter 5, verses 3 and 5. Oh, by the way, page 1 of my slide 1 of my PowerPoint. Look at this zoom effect. Zoom. And it's probably backwards, isn't it? It's backwards for you. Another trick. James 1, 2 through 4, and Romans 5, verses 3 through 5. Zoom. Don't be getting jealous. Romans 5, verse 3 through 5. Remember, we're talking about perseverance and how it finishes. How do we finish perseverance? So, Romans 5, verse 3. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. Now, let me pull up my next PowerPoint for you as I reread Romans 5, verse 3 through 5. Are you ready? Try to stay focused on what's being read, not on the quality of the PowerPoint. Romans 5, verse 3. Not only so, but we glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces, next slide, perseverance. Perseverance produces, next slide, character. Character produces, next slide, hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. Let me pull up that slide one more time so I can show you. We know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character. Character produces hope. A couple notes for you. Sufferings can mean pressure. So, we have a lot of pressures in this life. Right now, we're pressured to social distance. We're pressured to wash our hands all the time. We're pressured. That's just coronavirus. There's many more pressures that y'all face as high schoolers, teenagers. So suffering. But suffering, like, what's it good for? Well, it produces perseverance, which back in James chapter 1, it says that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. And we need to let perseverance finish its work. Well, what happens, like, how does this finish? Because it's going to produce character. And then from character, we got hope. So through our sufferings and our pressures, we are going to experience and make ourselves go through the process of perseverance, or maybe endurance is another good word. And because we are persevering and enduring, we are developing character, or God is using these things to develop character in us. And then that's going to lead us to hope. And my Bible notes here I wanted to read to you because I found it very helpful for me to clarify a few things. It says, someone's character, someone whose character has met the tests of life, the sufferings, the trials, the pressures, and has emerged victorious, possesses hope based on the eternal love and power of God. So all this rambling of mine to go on to tell you, to say, coronavirus or not, we have hope. We have, and before we can get to hope, we've gone through the suffering, we've gone to the perseverance and character, and we're going to have hope. We have hope. What is our hope? Our hope is in the Lord's love for us and in his great care for us and his protection and in all the promises that have ever come about in this here book. So I want to encourage you all. You know, I feel like the last couple days I've felt a little more hope as I've listened to our governor, as I've listened to some other people in the medical field about, you know what, this doesn't need to last forever. Let's be smart about this. There is hope. We're not going to be quarantined through the end of time. Feels like it, but we're not going to. So I want you guys to use these pressures of what you're dealing with the losses of not being in school. Maybe some of you don't think it's losses, but use this time to persevere. Get through that schoolwork, even though it's different than being in school. It doesn't matter. It's not graded. It's what's the point? Persevere through it, because that's going to develop character for you. Even now as teenagers, it's so important to start developing your character. And that's going to carry you through your lifetime. Even more, that character is going to produce a hope in you that cannot be put under. Like, you get that hope, you're going to get through all of the next sufferings and all the next trials, because you know you have that hope that this isn't it. COVID-19 is not it. For you seniors out there, not having prom, not having graduation, it stinks, but this is not it. There's hope that you will experience more in life than you could have ever imagined, and you'll be able to look back and say, oh my, look how I persevered, and that was because of God's work in you. Okay? So that's it for my PowerPoint presentation tonight. Kind of a bunch of rambling, but I want you all to stay focused and look forward to your text messages about what's coming next, and wait for the next video. See you later, all.